Cool.
There we go.
History lesson.
Learn anything every day.
Next topic. I'm talking about hip or hype.
What?
Depending on how you spell it, / pronounce it.
What?
Your own writing?
Yeah, I can.
Hip.
Okay, so
Tell us about hips.
what's something that's been hyped in your guys' life that has just gone way beyond control, and then you got it, and it turned out to be the most normal product?
Suicide Squad?
You haven't even seen it, bro.
Besides
Suicide Squad is so bad.
Suicide Squad's a good example, but we've already talked it to death.
Are we talking just movies or just anything?
Anything.
So my first one is Destiny, right?
That's a video game.
It's a video game. The way it was advertised was you can take on the galaxy with your friends, as many of them as you want, and you shoot things and you discover new planets, and it's boundless.
I can hear a lot of hurt in your voice.
And you just you don't reach the end of the game in 10 minutes. And then the game came out, and it was the same 3 things, for 20 minutes, just over and over and over again.
Was it like the planets in Mass Effect?
Which the game was actually awesome, but the way they sold it built so much hype that it was astronomical by the time it actually came out. You couldn't not be disappointed.
So the hype train is real this week because of another game.
I was hyped for Clegane Bowl and Game
Which
of
one?
Thrones. And
No Man's Sky.
That's true. Yeah, I feel
It's
that.
not going to happen.
What's Clegane Ball?
Sandor Clegane, the Hound, versus
the Mountain.
Gregor Clegane, the Mountain.
So,
Are they meant to verse each other?
So Cersei was supposed to
theory
call
that it could
the
happen.
Mountain for trial by combat.
Oh yeah, they were putting it like it was gonna happen.
Yeah, because the guy was building a church, so it was like, oh, the faith has him.
Yeah, they gave him
Gregor
the
has-
motivation.
yeah,
and then we
there
just
was
didn't
gonna
see him
be-
again, did we?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones
yeah.
talk.
Anyway,
Crazy.
That was hype.
that was hype.
So
I get hype.
there's 2 examples of this in the past 2 weeks. So does everyone know who Frank Ocean is?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a singer,
I know
rapper,
I'm so bad.
musical artist. His first
Channel
album,
Orange.
his first album was pretty.
It was life changing.
Amazing.
It was incredible.
It was okay.
Pyramids.
I think Chris liked it.
She's working at the pyramids tonight.
It's very
We could have done that song too.
It's love-making music, isn't it? Really.
I guess.
Working at the pyramids. I think she's a prostitute.
So
Pyramids is a strip
2 weeks
club,
ago,
yeah.
he started a live stream that was just of a workbench.
Yeah,
right?
a workshop. And then he came and chopped some wood, and
Did he or did someone else?
it's on his website. And then he pops in and does some stuff, and then pops out. So it's on
Chop
his.
some wood?
Yeah, it's like a tool.
Is that like an innuendo? Or?
Like with an axe?
Like with a bandsaw or something.
Okay.
Anyway, so then he started that, and then everyone was jacked up because they've just been talking. Someone said he's releasing his album on Friday. Someone high up in iTunes or in Frank Ocean's camp.
they were portraying it as Apple Music is releasing it, right?
On Friday, which was last Friday, and so everyone's like, "Yes, Friday,
Yeah.
sweet, it's happening."
I said let's do the Frank Ocean album next week because it was coming out.
Yeah.
Well, everyone thought it was.
But it didn't.
It did not. Nothing. Not a word. No one's heard anything from Frank Ocean. This is his thing. He's like a mysterious fellow. And no one's
Is
heard
the
from him.
live stream still going?
I think so.
He's still chopping wood?
He's not there all the
It's
time. Most
mostly
of the
nothing.
time, it's just an empty warehouse.
That people are speculating off.
It sounds like he's very, very good at building hype.
Yeah.
Oh, hype
So,
is unreal.
would
He's a
you-
meme.
Do you think this is ultimately going to affect him bad way with the hype?
I think the cool thing now is to release an album with no hype. Like Beyonce
Yeah, like
style.
Beyonce.
Or Taylor Swift.
I don't think that's the thing. That's just a thing.
I feel
Yes.
like that's almost a marketing plan in itself, though. Conspiracy hat on.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like,
but it
I'm
works.
Beyonce, I don't need to advertise.
Yeah,
That's the
it
advertisement.
That's more like I can drop an album and not tell anyone, and it's still gonna be crazy. And then everyone
Do you
writes
think
Just
about
all my producers. you
Yeah.
know, and
Do you
all
think
the
that
people who
wouldn't
work
work
for
with
me.
Frank Ocean?
Of course it would, and I think that's how it happens. That's how it's gonna happen.
It
anyway.
would with our kind of generation because we're so.
We
Like,
can we
we got the
advertise
internet
ourselves.
plugged into our
Yeah.
blood.
Well,
But with the
it's.
general populace,
As long as you know it's going to be
need
good.
marketing.
I think if he drops an album within the next couple of days while we're still talking about it, it'll be a huge success. What he's done, if he doesn't drop it for like another 3 weeks, then I think then he's just overdone it and everyone's just going to be pissed.
But that's the thing. I don't think it's him. I think it's
Yeah,
us.
it could have just been some guy who just
It's
made
us.
something up.
He's just doing his thing. He hasn't said anything. He's just chilling.
So that kind of sucks for him because then it's like...
Yeah, but you don't start a live stream and start chopping wood for no reason. Like,
You do.
like he's obviously doing something.
You chop wood for a reason.
That's right. There's so
No,
many jokes.
it's-
So many jokes.
You definitely do. It's like a performance art piece. He's an artist, whatever. He does that. But the question is, like, is this going to help or hinder him?
Didn't he say
Is that
after
the
his
question?
last album that he?
I don't
wasn't
think
sure
it's
if
going to
that's the
affect him
question,
at all.
That he was done with music.
Everyone says that.
Which is the only thing it does is it kind of builds animosity towards their character. So if you think that affects things, in terms of money, it probably wouldn't. Like, people will still get the album.
Oh, yeah.
People will still download it illegally because they probably already were going to.
But, like, how did we get here? Why do we do this to ourselves?
But other examples. So another game similar to the way they portrayed Destiny. It's called No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Came
on
out this
Tuesday.
week.
Came out.
And the way they portrayed this game was you can explore the galaxy. Are you seeing the echoes here? You can find these different planets. You can build colonies.
Yep.
You can change the ecosystem.
You can build colonies?
You can discover species. You can like do things with animals.
So
You
not
can,
Minecraft?
Ali just really wants to take over the
Hold on,
galaxy.
is that-
you can find other people and you can name planets.
is that not the case?
So I got it. I played it for like 5 hours straight last night, and I really like it. I know it sounded like I was going to go the other way with that.
It's the
Wait,
twist.
I
It's a
really like it,
twist.
comma,
It was a
but.
twist. Well, there's another
Or
twist.
but, comma, sorry.
But,
Comma.
come on, bro.
Yeah, I'm bad with commas.
No, it's comma
I'm
but.
not mature enough for a but comma.
Wait, I don't know. But, comma, I think is the word.
Comma but comma. Keep going.
It's not what it said it was.
Yeah.
There's multiplayer, but there's not multiplayer. So you can go to people's planets that they've discovered and they've named.
Are they there?
No,
They're
well, they
on
can be. They've done live stream tests of people going to the same planet, being on the same point, and you can't see each other.
Oh.
So there's-
Someone did. They did. I saw a video today. Someone met up with
It's
someone
bullcrap.
by accident.
You meet up with aliens, which is actually one of the awesome parts about it, why I like it. But there's no colony, there's no civilization crap, there's no... What you do in this game... Sorry.
What are you doing, man?
What I needed to lean forward for this. To exercise my point.
No, welcome to my life.
His point's going to the Olympics next Olympics.
So, this game, you get dropped on a planet. The planet's pretty much killing you. You pick up resources to fuel your suit and fuel your ship. And you discover plants and animals. That's the game.
So it's
Wait,
like,
it's like
Minecraft.
Mass Effect
No,
with the
it's
planets? 'Cause
without
you
a
got
story.
resources.
Without a story.
It's Minecraft.
Yeah, it's
No, but
like
then you'd have,
interplanetary.
you'd have to be able to build something.
Yeah,
Can
you
you build
can't
stuff?
build things.
So it's
You're getting
Minecraft
fuel.
without the building.
It's not
part.
Minecraft.
It's not
If it was
Minecraft, bro.
Minecraft, people would bloody love it.
So the way they portrayed that definitely doesn't come across. I do actually love the game, but purely because all you do is wander around and like you see a plant. This is gonna sound super lame. So you see a plant and you're like, I haven't seen that plant before. I'm gonna scan that, and it's like a pluribus aracanusibus, and I'm like, that's a crap name. I'm gonna call it like penis plant or something. Like, and you can do that.
Have you done that? You
Yeah.
did that, didn't you? It was
One of
like
my
the first
planets
one
is
you
called
did.
Snatch. I'm not. So if you see a planet Snatch out there from Barbarooni, that's my planet.
Wait. So once you name it, that's yours, and
Yeah.
other people can see it.
Like that's the best thing
They
about it.
can't
is that-
name it?
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's Planet Snatch forever.
So if
Wow.
you come in late, does that mean all the planets will be
I was
named?
actually wondering that, but it's procedurally generated, so I think it just gets bigger.
Yeah, you
That's a
can
good
just
idea.
keep going. Yeah.
So wouldn't you just get a crazy number of planets then, and you'd never see someone else's planet?
I think that's the idea.
Yeah, that's
I haven't
right,
actually ran
Like
into
the
someone else's
real
planet
world.
Yeah,
yet,
true.
or universe.
Yeah.
So universe, yes. True.
But I freaking love it. But that is not what they
But
advertise.
yeah, can you imagine advertising? Discover new species of flowers. Like,
And rock formations. You could study rock formations, guys. Isn't that
I
fun?
like rocks.
Yeah,
I'm
I was like,
into
Jono would love this. For
so essentially, it comes down to money.
Hey, sticking with the games, Battlefront.
It's a bit of
was
reductionist
so
view.
overhyped.
As if.
Yeah, good example.
It was like Star
You don't like
Wars,
complexity.
this and that.
It is.
I played the game once. I put the disc in the PS4. I played 1 hour. I pulled the disc out and I haven't touched it since.
Star Wars.
Did you pull it out like
Battlefront.
this?
Oh, that was hyped.
Yeah.
That was
That was
so
hyped.
hyped and it was so bad. Like,
That was
the
hyped.
gameplay was terrible. I played COD.
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was hyped.
True that.
I actually had that on my list.
That was terrible.
I
told
had
you to put that
year
on your list.
2000 was hyped because the
Yes, the
Y2K.
year 2000.
Y2K.
That was
We're
me.
all gonna die.
Zika was hyped, but it seems to have not come to anything.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's
I told you not to put
that's-
that on there because
Has there
people
been any
That's not
Zika stuff
yeah.
in Rio?
No, not
Like
in Rio.
in the Olympics, I mean?
Oh.
But it wouldn't be in the Olympics. It's not something that would affect the Olympics.
I mean, like people.
It's when
Catching
people
it?
go home
And have
spread
babies.
Oh.
and their babies get deformities,
So
which
we'll-
happened just like recently in Texas.
I told
That's
you not to put
freaky.
that on
The
there.
baby died.
So we'll find that out in 20 years.
That's proper hype.
You find out in like 2 because it's like the baby comes out with a tiny head.
Sorry, quick follow up. Remember you mentioned the condoms?
Mm.
They've gone through a record number of 450,000 condoms.
Is there a gold medal for that?
Do you reckon they're using more because of the Zika virus?
Maybe.
I
Probably
would.
extra
I'd,
safe.
I'd wear friggin' 3.
They're wearing them while they're swimming.
Ali, they don't stack. It's
They've
not.
got full body
I
weight.
would be. Did you see the pool go green?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What is that? What I keep seeing pictures. of
They
that.
keep explaining it.
The
It's gotta
article
be
that-
algae.
Yeah, the
'cause
article
algae
that
is
I
what makes
read.
it green.
The article that I read said that the pool is too big for the filtration system that they put on the pool,
This could have been your topic. Green pools.
and basically it crapped
Glad
itself.
it's not.
Yeah.
It crapped itself and stopped working. So
Oh.
basically, it's literally just algae building up. And the funny thing is, like, it was so green, and people were still diving into it.
The
Algae's
Canadian team,
healthy, right?
the Canadian team, diving team, said it helped them because they could see the water better.
Oh, true.
So, like, because it's an
Wow.
outdoor thing, like, if you have reflection off the water and you don't know where it starts,
That's true.
as a diver, when you're
You
flipping
need to
around,
know when you're going to hit
Oh,
need a
the
reference.
jump people, right?
Yeah, except when you get out of the
Diving.
I,
pool.
I was thinking like diving from the side. I'm like, is it that hard to see where the water is? I can't see it.
Except when you get out of the pool and
You're
you're
like-
covered in rashes.
You're like, why are they calling swimmers divers?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
All right, last topic. Very serious topic. I'm not sure what it's actually about because it's pretty breaking news.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about this.
He's pretty emotional about it, which is why I wanted.
So, there was like exploitative bastard.
Yeah.
There was a release of a bunch of leaked documents about the Nauru detention center yesterday.
Who leaked it?
I'm not sure. Someone who either works in the security firm or like the government or something.
Okay.
Because it's a leak of a bunch of incident reports. So like workplace health and safety, you might film an incident report, something happens. So these ones are like...
This is the Northern Territory one that the
No,
other stuff
Nauru.
came out.
No.
What's
Nauru
Nauru?
is a detention center.
Nauru
for
is a country. It's an island, small island nation.
Where they put refugees.
So it's a small island nation of 10,000 people who are apparently better equipped to handle refugees than Australia is.
Wow.
That felt salty.
It is salty. It's like 800 of them, as if we couldn't handle
Where are
them.
we going
Okay, so what's the news that came out of the
So what
documents?
happened?
It's just about all these like incidents. So about 20% of the people in those detention centers are children. About 50% of the incident reports regard children, so there's a much higher percentage than there are kids. So there's a lot of bad things happening to kids. A lot of the reports about like sexual abuse, rape, threats of rape, attacks by locals. There was a little girl who like sewed her lips shut together, and then a guard started laughing at her, like stuff like that, and like a bunch of reports on like children drawing like really macabre things like zombies and death and I need death and like stuff because of like the mental trauma that they're going through. Yeah, so that happened. I don't know where you want to talk about it.
So this is all in this. Is it an island country?
Yeah,
And
So-
where is it?
it's like up towards like New Caledonia and like Fiji that way.
So is the reason that the refugees are there because that's the only country that'll take them?
No, it's because we're sending them there.
We're forcing it, right?
Yes.
Oh.
So any boats that come towards Australia, our policy is that they can't come to Australia.
Right.
So we put them in either Manus Island, which is a part of Papua New Guinea, or we take them to Nauru. So those are the two places.
Why?
Papua New Guinea, their court recently ruled that it's illegal for them to be held in detention.
Okay.
Which it is. Under international law, if someone seeks refugee in a country, which we're a signatory to, you have to process them and assess whether they're actually refugees, and you're meant to do that in your own country.
Right.
So we're currently breaking international law in order to do
Wow.
what we're doing. Most of those people who are in those detention centers have been found to be legitimate refugees.
Okay.
So they actually were fleeing from something that, we should be accepting them.
Sure.
Like Syria, right?
Yeah, like Syria, Iraq, a lot of from Malaysia people come through.
Okay.
They actually go to like mainly Thailand and stuff. That's
So
pretty bad
do
there,
we have some sort of an agreement with Nauru that
too.
we
Yes.
that
We
send
pay them
there
a lot of money.
to keep
So this
these people?
system at the moment, which has like, there's less than 1,000 people in offshore detention. It costs us $1.2 billion a year.
What?
So it's a really
Wow.
expensive, really dumb, really cruel solution.
So
It's no solution.
It's not a
Is there
solution.
more
It's still a made up problem.
Right.
They made up a problem so they could win an election, and they could scare people by saying, "Oh, this really bad thing's gonna happen, but we'll stop it."
this sounds like
okay.
it's almost like is it a prison island? Are there more refugees than there are people there now?
No, there's 10,000 people there.
Do
Who
they know
live there.
how many like refugee count is?
Yeah, the refugee count's probably like 400 or something on Nauru.
Okay. 10,000 is
500.
so small.
Yeah, it's a tiny country. It's the smallest island nation in the world.
Is the climate with the country like they hate the refugees? What's
Yeah.
the temperature? Is that the
Yeah. So like they cop heaps of abuse if they leave the camp thing.
right?
Why do they hate them? That's
one
that's
of
the
the
main
inci-
source of income.
No, but they're just locals. They don't probably see
That'd
that
be
money.
the government getting the
Yeah, the
income.
government's getting the money.
But if there's 10,000 people, like your uncle's probably in the government.
Yeah, they still hate them. So
That's
a lot of the reports
crazy.
were like,
We hate
if
refugees too, but they don't affect half of us.
Yeah. if it was
As
the
in,
same
we,
proportion.
the country in general, seems to hate refugees, not us four.
Ali
All of
doesn't.
us.
Ali doesn't actually hate women, and he doesn't actually hate refugees.
Chris probably hates
Just
refugees.
clarifying.
That was me being glib.
Yeah, one of the incident reports was to a woman. One of the guards had said, "You're on a list. If you ever get out of here, you're going to get raped."
My God.
Don't worry, guys. Peter Dutton came out today and said they're all making it up.
So wait, our current government,
Mm.
the procedure is boats arrive and
Mhm.
we turn them around and send them to Nauru.
We either turn them back to where they came from,
Yep.
or we take them and put
Which
them on Nauru.
that in itself, you're saying is against international
Yes,
law.
because international law is there's no rules about how you can flee a country, right?
Right.
Which makes sense. If something horrible is
Of
happening,
course.
you run out of there in
Yeah.
whatever direction
You
you can go.
freaking get out of there.
So the law is wherever you end up,
Yeah.
you get processed there, and they assess whether you're a legitimate refugee.
And then,
And then if you're
Deal
found
with
to be a refugee, you get asylum there.
yeah.
If you're found to not be a refugee, you take them back to the country.
So
that
how
they're
are we getting away with just breaking
Because
international
the
law?
UN doesn't
Nobody
have any
knows
power
about
to
it.
enforce that. No, they do. So they've been really basically shaming reports from Amnesty International,
insane.
the UN, basically saying what we're doing is wrong and horrible and unnecessary,
Wow.
which is all true.
Devil's advocate. Is it working? Are less refugees coming?
So the other part of their policy is that they don't tell you.
Mm.
So the government also made it so that you can't go to those camps, and they also don't release any information about whether or
My
not boats are
goodness.
arriving. So
Right.
you can't actually assess whether or not it's working.
Right.
For all we know,
Working.
they're out there sinking those boats
Yeah.
and just not telling us.
Well, that's the other thing, Ali. When you say working, is the goal to stop the boats coming?
That's what Tony Abbott campaigned on.
That's why people voted
Stop that
for
It was like
Right.
to scare off.
Stop the
Right.
boats. If it's 3 words, it's a perfect slogan.
But then the thing is, if the boats stop, the boats still exist. They're probably going somewhere else, or even worse things are happening to them.
But then it's not the Australian public's problem.
That's terrible.
So there was a couple of boats that sank on the way to Christmas Island. So people died. And they used that as a cover, and they said that the only way to save their lives is to stop the incentive for people to come. So they don't mind, for them, Nauru and Manus Island being horrible places is the system working.
Oh,
Because that's what
they
they want. They want it to
Right.
be such a horrible place that people who are fleeing death and violence
No
wouldn't
one else
think of coming.
comes.
Oh
So
my
think about how
goodness.
bad you have to make something so that when you're fleeing war, you think that's probably worse. I shouldn't
Wow.
go.
But if it doesn't the data doesn't come out about it, how would the refugee know not to come here?
We've been playing ads overseas. telling people not to come.
I didn't know that. That's even
Making
worse.
Australia seem really nice by playing ads all over the world about how
So like
you
the
can't
opposite
come
of
here.
the Thailand ads we get here about going to Thailand because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a tourist ad.
Yeah.
But also, I think because it's the internet and you can see news articles. So from the government's point of view, when you see an article about how horrible Nauru is, it probably
They'd
works.
be pumped about
Yeah.
that. Right.
Wow, that's terrible.
It's dark. Does
Yeah.
trying to get a positive spin here. Is there something we can do to actually change it in any way?
Yeah, the only way it'll change is if enough Australians make it clear that they don't like the policy and they don't want it to be their policy. So, because at the moment, both the Liberal Party, the Coalition, and the Labor Party actually have it as their main policy. I don't give a crap who's in charge. They can all stay in charge or whatever. Just like it doesn't need to be happening. And if normal Australians like wrote to them and said, stop doing this.
It almost needs
would
to be
stop.
like Uber. Like they tried so hard to make that illegal, but so many people supported it, it became legal, right? Is that the kind of similar kind of thing?
Guess.
Like so many people need to be for it.
So a good analogy is the thing that happened in the Northern Territory that you were talking about, right?
Right.
But there was a video there. And
What
everyone
happened?
could see it. Remember that kid getting abused in the Northern Territory
Right.
Detention Centre? And then everyone was like, what the hell is this? Everyone got angry about it. And the government immediately was like, let's fix it, whatever. Because the government only cares when everyone else cares.
Of
They're
course.
literally just doing it because they think it'll win them votes.
Mm.
So there's enough of a vote for people out there who, one, believe them when they say they're saving lives by doing it. And two,
Wow.
actually don't like refugees. And actually
Yeah.
believe the line that, they'll take our jobs and all that other crap.
It does seem like everyone cares. It just...
When you're spending $1.2
It almost doesn't have a good
billion,
marketing campaign, which sounds evil the way I say that, but I'm thinking I see a refugee post on Facebook, I'm probably not going to click it because it's so dark and sad and I feel like I can't do anything about it. But that's like a terrible thing to do because I'm just being lazy.
it's really hard to engage people on it, and you shouldn't it's not good to go, it's everyone's fault. It's this
Right.
YouTube generation that doesn't care about important issues.
The YouTube
That's
generation.
that's such a
Millennials.
it's a completely useless thing to say because it's
Right.
that's not helping anything. So we do need to think of ways to communicate it. For the most part, young people in general are very this is crap. Why are we doing
if
this?
it was up to my Facebook feed, the law would change.
It tends to be, I think, people
only,
who are
right?
more right wing. I think there are people who genuinely believe the argument that it's the merciful thing to do because they don't want to see people drowning at sea. So to dismiss them as being evil or something is not good, even though I think they're very wrong.
It's very much a lot of people wouldn't know as much as what you just told us.
Or they don't believe it. So recently the immigration minister Peter Dutton today came out saying that they make up the story so they can come to Australia. So, and he also said that people burn themselves so they can come to Australia. A guy burnt himself alive in Nauru last year. He set himself on fire. When you say that someone set themselves on fire so that they can come to Australia, that's not a strategy for something to happen in your life. That's not something someone comes up with. It's not like, I want to make a career change. When you want to change something in your life,
Why
you make a
does that-
plan. Setting yourself on fire is not a plan.
What?
That is literally ends in death.
Why does that put you in Australia?
He's saying because they'll get sympathy. So they think that the bleeding
Oh, so it's
heart...
like a protest.
For them, the people who are pro-refugee are bleeding heart lefties, and they'll just dismiss it. And
Right.
they think that the refugees are trying to play on that.
So
There's some sort of sinister,
they almost tried to do
evil people.
the Tibet monk fire thing. Is that the idea?
I think that's what he's saying, but I think the guy just wanted to kill himself.
Right.
Because he was so depressed at being in
Because that's
that
what I
place.
thought of as soon as you said that.
Yeah.
To bring things to a close, I have a plan.
Okay.
So vote me as Prime Minister, which you can't because I'm not Australian.
Does that apply? I'm not sure if that rule
Yes,
applies in Australia.
you have to be a citizen to become the Prime Minister.
Our finance
not a
minister
citizen?
is from Belgium.
Yes,
From
but they're
Belgium,
an
but
Australian
it's-
citizen.
All right.
Right.
Julia Gillard was born
Yes.
in
I'm
Wales.
an immigrant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't you a citizen?
He hasn't been here long enough.
Because I haven't been here long enough.
Costs money as
Don't
well.
have enough money.
And now I've got heaps of money, just haven't been around.
So what's your plan besides?
All right, guys, here's a plan.
Emotion.
Okay, first things first, we move everybody from Tasmania to the mainland. Okay, so we empty that island. Yeah,
Right.
it's a beautiful place.
Seems like
It's remote. It's separate.
They won't mind.
You know, who cares? All right,
Yeah, I'm sure they don't care.
they're sleeping around with their cousins and brothers and sisters. Anyway, you move all those people to the mainland.
Right.
Huh.
So now Tasmania is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest concern I think uneducated people, yeah, I said it, have is because, they're going to come, refugees are going to come and enforce their way of life and bring in their laws and, you know, this religion and that. That's people's main problem, right? Because they're like, we want to keep our way of life, which is fine. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we take everyone from Tasmania, put them in Australia, even though Tasmania is Australia. You know what I mean, mainland. There's a lot of land here and not enough people. So do that, empty Tasmania, get every single refugee, welcome all of them, process them like you should, put them in Tasmania, and say, here you go, that's a nice place, live there.
It is a nice place, actually.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And have some sort of, you know, we still regulate that place and we still kind of rule that place.
Yeah.
But have medical systems ready, have education ready, everything like that. They can live there, they can do whatever they want. And look, if for whatever...
You sound too serious about this plan.
I'm very serious. If for whatever reason, you know, like people say, they're going to come and bomb us. Yeah. If they do, it'll just be contained within Tasmania and we're all good. That's my plan, guys.
Please don't vote for me.
Vote for me.
Don't
Vote for me in 10 years.
Vote Greens. Greens are the
plan.
only major party that doesn't have that as their policy.
Bad plan. That's my plan, guys.
So wrapping up on that terrible statement that it was full of things wrong.
That's a great plan.
This has been trend setting.
You're starting to doubt
Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a review on any podcast app. I just put us on TuneIn.
Whoa.
So if you're like
I have never heard of
an
that.
Android person or something, you can listen to us through that.
Give us a review.
It's just another
Crazy.
podcast avenue. I don't know if they do reviews. This has been awesome. I feel like we did a lot of fun and a lot of ridiculous and a lot of serious at the same time. I feel like we had a good balance. What do you guys think? Should we do more fun things? Should we do more serious things? I like it when we do serious things because I feel like we highlight things that should be highlighted. But I also like to do silly things like talk about video games which don't matter.
Pokemon.
And
Any last thoughts yet, Jen?
My plan's perfect.
Okay.
Flawless.
Give us one more bad thing about.
Okay, I'm going to do this really fast. There's nothing that the Suicide Squad didn't need to be there. There's nothing they could do that a bunch of Marines couldn't do. It was stupid. It was cheap and lazy. So, okay, this sums it up, Fred.
I hope so.
Captain Boomerang, he comes, there's a hilarious moment where they're like, okay, you guys can go. And he just bails. And it's hilarious. But it's it's cheap laugh, right? And then he comes right back. And they don't explain it at all.
That's true. They
What?
didn't explain that.
What? That sums up the movie. It's so bad. So what we had in the trailers,
We're
right?
not but okay,
It
great
was- no,
stuff, Chris.
This is
Wrap it up.
how you sum up the movie. It's
You
a
said
whole
that
bunch
5 minutes
of
ago.
great
Brevity is
ingredients,
the soul of wit.
right? Whole bunch of great ingredients.
You're killing
They
wit
didn't.
soul.
They didn't chop them up. They didn't cook them. They didn't do anything with them.
He's starting an analogy.
They just chucked them all on the
Wit
table
is crying in a corner.
and hoped for the best.
Wit
This
soul.
isn't your soapbox, damn it.
It's terrible.
Maybe you shouldn't have talked for the 3 days
Oh.
before you saw the movie.
Oh,
Anyway,
was
Okay, well,
appalling.
if you haven't switched off yet, thanks for staying.
that's your fault. That is 100% your fault. If you didn't switch off when I told Chris to complain again, that is your fault. That is on you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, share, do anything.
do what you want.
Chris's last week is next week before he's gone for a month. We're gonna get some.
Oh.
We're gonna get some.
It sounded like you're gonna fire him.
We're gonna. We're gonna get.
out.
Chris's last week. 'cause
We're
it
gonna
sucks.
get some
Fair
people of the female persuasion.
Oh.
shit, that'll be interesting.
But you hate women.
Well, I'll
This
still
is-
debate with
This
them.
is a chance for Ali to change his ways.
Yeah, this is a chance for a woman to change me.
Hello.
He just hasn't had enough contact with women.
That's it, damn
It's
it.
the same as the refugee issue. They just don't see
And
people
we're
in
out.
black.
Now let's do the
Can we do the
thumbnail
thumbnail?
post
Yeah,
because
can we
that
do
actually
the thumbnail?
really helped last time. Yeah, but I left it in the video. I don't know if you saw that.
Did you?
Yeah.
When? At the end?
Yeah, just I didn't leave it in the audio. I just left it in the video. There's also a 5-minute. Oh, we already stopped. Damn it. We if you are watching the video,
No, stop.
With-
Don't
No,
focus
it's
on
just
this.
stop
It's
recording.
It's way too
there's a
late.
5-minute highlights coming out of the first 5 episodes.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Let's do the thumbnail.
Hold on. I'm not ready. Hold on, I'm not ready.
Far out, Yay Chan.
What are you doing, Ali?
What are you doing?
I'm Wonder Woman.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay.